A major accident at the Bradford Junction led to one of the drivers being pulled from her vehicle. More on what happened, plus Chris James previews the upcoming Ferdinand 175th celebration, and Kim Kendall and Patrick Kellums discuss the Celebrating Fathers event coming up this weekend, tonight on Inform. All of that and much more is coming up here on the 18 WJTS News. Hello, I'm Bradford Raths. We begin with a two-vehicle accident at the Bradford Junction just before the lunch hour. Just before noon today, DuBois County Sheriff's deputies were called to the Bradford Junction after a car versus SUV accident was reported. The impact of the crash sent the car spinning into the southeast corner of the intersection, while the SUV came to rest in the east part of the Bradford Junction. The driver of the car had to be extricated from her vehicle due to damage her vehicle sustained in the crash. She was taken to Memorial Hospital for treatment of her injuries. No other injuries were reported, and authorities have not released names as of news time. Both vehicles, of course, sustained heavy damage in this crash. St. Anthony first responders assisted with traffic control while the scene was being cleaned up. Ambulances from Memorial Hospital EMS, along with wreckers from Hubelor & Sons, also assisted. Workers at a Jasper manufacturing plant had their morning interrupted after a fire broke out in a dust collection bin. Jasper Fire crews were called to ditto sales in the 2300 block of Cathy Lane just before 6:50 this morning. Fire Chief Kenny Hoaksong says the fire broke out in a dust collection unit at the back of the building. Hoaksong says a spark from inside the bin may have caused the fire. No injuries were reported, and Hoaksong says all employees in the building got out safely. Hoaksong says the only damage was to the dust collection system and some extra water from the firefighting effort. The Jasper Fire Department responded with 6 trucks and 32 firefighters, and they were on scene for just over an hour. Jasper Police and Memorial Hospital EMS also assisted. Indiana lawmakers have taken several steps in recent months to fight issues with abandoned properties. More than 5,200 blighted homes were reported in Indiana recently. Senate Enrolled Act 415 aims to curb the problem by giving local governments several new legal tools to transfer abandoned and unsafe properties to responsible taxpayers. Lawmakers say this bill also simplifies the process to certify a property for a tax sale. Now, among the changes in the bill are allowing the Local Building Standards Hearing Authority to determine if a property is vacant and can be sold at a tax sale. Previously, only a court decision could do that. Additionally, SEA 415 bans owners of abandoned or vacant properties from redeeming them after they've been sold in a tax sale. State lawmakers say there was less incentive for people to bid on those properties since they could buy the property only to have the previous owner reclaim it after the sale. Finally, local governments will now be able to partner with a receiver to clean up or find a new owner for a particular property. District 48 Senator Mark Messmer says overall, the legislation cleans up the process.
Indiana law includes some of the strongest protections in the country for homeowners facing mortgage foreclosure, but if a property is sitting abandoned due to foreclosure, it harms the community to keep waiting before taking action to rehabilitate that property. This law speeds up the foreclosure and auction process in cases where the property at issue has been deemed vacant or abandoned.
For questions, you can contact Messmer's office directly by email or by telephone. And speaking of state lawmakers, legislators representing DuBois County will be meeting tomorrow to discuss notable laws that are going into effect July 1st, as well as the work they did during the recent legislative session, which wrapped up in April. The Jasper Chamber of Commerce and Vincennes University Jasper campus will host the summer legislative gathering from 11:30 a.m. till 1 p.m. tomorrow in the lecture hall of the university's classroom building, east of the administration building. State Senators Mark Messmer of Jasper and Aaron Houchin of Salem, as well as State Representatives Mike Braun of Jasper and Lloyd Arnold of Leavenworth, have been invited to attend. The 4 legislators represent DuBois County in the Indiana General Assembly. Tomorrow's meeting is free and open to the public, and attendees are encouraged to bring their lunch and a drink with them. And finally tonight, congratulations to the royalty for this year's Ferdinand 175th celebration. 18-year-old Kayla Huffman of Ferdinand was chosen as this year's queen. 16-year-old Lauren Treader was chosen as first runner-up, and 17-year-old Gabrielle Huffman was the second runner-up. Meanwhile, Logan Fisher was chosen as Little Mister with Lance Beglin as first runner-up. Bailey Anderson was Little Miss, and Olivia Bell was the runner-up. Of course, the Ferdinand 175th celebration kicks off Thursday night at 18th Street Park. Opening ceremonies get underway at 5 p.m. on the main stage. The celebration wraps up this Sunday afternoon with the Ferdinand 175th Parade, which gets underway at 2 o'clock. Now, 18 WJTS will be airing the pageants in their entirety coming up next Tuesday, June 23rd at 7:30 after our local newscast, and again at 2 o'clock Eastern Time, Sunday, June 28th. All right, coming up after the break, Chris James gives us a preview of this week's Ferdinand 175th celebration, plus rain chances all week long and more on celebrating fathers. We're back after this.